Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to MDL. It is not actually 2017, it's 2018, but this is an older ticket, and this is the qualifiers for the major tournament that's coming up in, I want to say, like 2 months-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. NaVi versus Vega Squadron. Vega up 1 game over NaVi right now. Of course, this is just for a spot in the playoffs, but you would love to be able to get that slightly better seed and potentially get yourself an easier opponent in the second round of the playoffs. Not to mention ensure that you're actually in the playoffs as well. But I'm Lyrical, joined as well by the wonderful Tsunami. Neil, how you doing, man?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm good. Already seeing a slightly different look. NaVi opt to ban out the Tiny themselves, so not leaving it to chance that maybe they can give it to General, because if they maybe give it to General, then what's most likely going to happen is Vega Squadron are going to take it with their first pick, and Undershock did a pretty peachy job in Game 1, so they take it out, and now we'll have to see what they want to go with. In the previous series, they were favoring a lot of Razor. Well, actually not a lot. They were favoring a lot of Doom, but that was the second phase thing. So, whatever the case, like, I looked at their previous series, and they had a better dynamic, which was put Dendy on a space-creating mid, and then put Crystallize on any kind of core. It can be greedy, it can be more mid-game oriented, whatever the case, like, don't put Dendy and Crystallize in, like, the same category with their hero pick, and that was what the Gyrocopter and Terrorblade felt to me in Game 1.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
and I think that also making sure that you don't just get, like,
5 seconds
either ran over in the
remaining.
lanes or that you have some type of lineup that can actually fight. And I think that's something that Sand King gives you at the start. It's a pretty solid laner. You're never gonna, like, just completely get demolished as Sand King more often than not. And also he allows your team to fight around you. Now NaVi take away the Rubik. This was first phase both games previously that Vega Squadron got it. It was first phase banned by NaVi last time, but as you said, take out the Tiny this time, then they're able to get the Rubik. I think there's a fabulous start to the draft from NaVi, with Sand King and Rubik being super good. A lot of magical damage, and also a lot of damage reduction with that the aura. God, why am I forgetting? Null Field.
Null Field?
On
Yeah.
Mr. Rubik.
That's the stuff. Although, no one ever seems to keep it on the defensive one. I think, like, I wish I had, like, a pie chart? Yeah, a pie chart showing the amount of time spent on offensive null field versus defensive null field, because 90% of the time it's on offensive. In this game, it's warranted to be on offensive. You've got a lot of bursts with the Sand King and the Rubik, and seeing as how you pick Rubik
10
first phase
seconds
before
remaining.
even seeing any other spells that the enemy team are going to pick, chances are
5
you're picking him
seconds
for that
remaining.
null field capability of more increased burst damage. So
Dire team ban.
preparing to see
Radiant
more
team
magic
ban.
damage oriented cores from NaVi, but also be prepared to see a lot of Vega Squadron heroes that have useless spells so that Rubik can't get anything good.
I mean, it's not giving away useless spells, but one hero that could be good, it would be giving away a lot of good spells actually, could be an Oracle. With already this heavy commitment on the magic
seconds
damage,
remaining.
Fate's Edict just completely owns. Really good with Death Prophet as well.
5 seconds remaining.
That being said, it would mean that's a Witch Doctor position 4, which is a little bit awkward, but not unbelievable to
Dire
think
team
about.
back.
Or they could go for some type of more defensive-ish offlaner.
I mean,
We'll
they picked
see.
Underlord in their previous series against Gambit. I would totally be okay with an Underlord in this game for Vega Squadron.
Okay.
Hero that very easily builds into a pipe, and a hero that is not at all susceptible to burst.
10 seconds Radiant remaining. Team pick.
And we'll see if that's what they want to go for. Lots of those offliners. I think last game or last series they also even ran like a Night Stalker, I think, who ended up building a pipe.
Yeah, I see that.
And it was obviously in combination with the Lycan, which is banned out this time around. So could be
10
different.
seconds
NaVi
remaining.
for themselves need a.
5 seconds.
I kind of like the
remaining.
idea of taking like either your safe lane hero here, and then that leaves it open if Sand King's gonna be 4 or 3.
I think they can go for Luna, who provides some magic damage for Crystallize. They had picked Tinker one game. I would be okay with, well, maybe not Queen of Pan against a Death Prophet Silence. That may be a bit troublesome.
Dire team
Sniper may be okay. Okay, so they go for the Luna. Yeah, so
Luna.
this is what I'm saying with magic damage oriented cores.
Radiant team
Terrorblade has not been banned out, so Vega Squadron still have that potential. That has been time and time again proven to be a snap reaction to Luna, but it's not necessary. Luna a lot of times can be put under control, And with Vega Squadron's draft, like, I don't think it's necessary to go that deep, but we'll
10
see.
seconds remaining.
Well, Vega Squadron throw the pick very quickly back at
5
NaVi, who have
seconds
already burned through a
remaining.
minute of reserve time, and now going to have to maybe burn through a bit more. Dark Willow taken as the third overall, which is what Vega has been pretty consistently doing.
All right, so let's see what is the skill build from Willow from Vega Squadron.
Dire
Maxing out Shadow Realm
Still
again.
maxing it out, yeah.
Word. All right, fine. We'll see.
I mean, I think the big thing for them also is like she's been trying. You've been building into Veil, and it's been like I think fairly tough for her to stay alive against the lineups that she's been facing, and it
10
gets the
seconds
cooldown
remaining.
reduced on Shadow Realm, which is pretty good, I think.
5 seconds.
And then they rely on other
remaining.
people for the sort of controlling spells.
Radiant
Yeah,
team back.
but I mean, it's like one begets the other. Like, she's having trouble staying alive because Willow's always being like, oh, well, I gotta go deal damage. I maxed out my Shadow Realm, so I gotta go get at least somewhat close to be able to get this right click off and get into range for my Veil of Discord. Whereas most of the teams that we were seeing in Indonesia were like,
10 seconds
here,
remaining.
have a hero that can provide a disengaging ultimate and forces every
seconds
single
remaining.
member caught inside of a pretty large AoE to get terrorized and feared way the hell out. But
Yeah.
I mean, terrorize, no matter what, is going to be very valuable this game. Luna does not have great range. Sand King initiation automatically means that he gets into the fight, and Omni Knight also, if he gets feared, not only is he out of position for Guardian Angel, but he's disabled the entire time, so he can't cast Repel, can't cast Purification.
I feel like you have to ban Terrorblade here. As much magic damage as they have, it's too scary going as a Luna into that reflection.
Dire
I
team
don't know.
Dude, he's gonna have to deal with Null Field getting reflected, Degen Aura getting reflected, and Glaives getting reflected, and Lunar Blessing, obviously. So yeah, I really hope that they... I mean, I don't know how much Vega Squadron play Terrorblade, but Terrorblade's like such a good pick here.
Yeah, and I mean, again, magic damage, it trumps
Dire
Terrorblade,
team
but I don't know. OD is going to be the ban
Radiant
out since they don't have a secondary save. They're going to go for a DK instead, so they want to go more tanky big pushers.
Okay. Someone needs to get a Blink Dagger, either Death Prophet or DK.
They've been picking multiple Blink Daggers on Death Prophets, on like some of the
10
offlanes. Probably won't see it on
seconds
Night
remaining.
Stalker, but yeah, I would definitely not be surprised by them taking a Blink on DP again.
5 seconds remaining.
Because if they go for this, then... So, like, DK and Terrorblade both push, but in very different ways. Like, they're also both cooldown dependent, but it's still different in the sense that DK does not need protection. And the amount of heroes that Vega Squadron have that are good at providing protection, I thought that you can go for something greedy like a Terrorblade, but this is a little bit... I would almost say harder to execute than picking the Terrorblade, but...
You may
Again,
now
like,
select
Terrorblade
your
is a hero that
heroes.
needs to be practiced, and if Vega Squadron don't run it frequently, then I wouldn't want to force them into it, and DK is a hero that you can't screw up DK no matter what. Undershock picks it.
Yeah. Interesting. As it looks like
Oh wait,
he's-
Undershock's their mid player.
Yeah, so they're going to be
Oh,
running
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, never
Palatimos
mind.
is... that's the switch up, is that it's going to be DP safe lane. So, cool stuff. I want to see how the Dark Willow Night Stalker goes. It looked real good in their other series, but then again, it was also against an opponent that I think was struggling in Gambit.
Yeah.
But Pugna. I guess
So,
kind of destroys Willow.
To an extent. I mean, it's a strong laner against a DK. DK is not going to threaten Pugna at all, and Pugna... Like, if you don't have a good roamer, and if you don't have a good mid-core, then Pugna gets away with a lot more than he should in the laning phase. And so, again, like, someone really needs to build a Blink Dagger on Vega Squadron. Ideally, they should build both. Like, DK and Death Prophet should both build it, because Luna, not going to be able to deal with people jumping on her. Pugna definitely cannot deal with people jumping on him. So, assuming that NaVi can
Prepare
manage to
for
stay
battle.
back, then they're going to be in pretty good shape. But given game one, I don't think Vega Squadron's ever interested in staying back.
Yeah, this is the type of run at you thing. It was interesting in the other game that we saw from Blizzy. He didn't end up doing that much during the first nighttime. He actually just tried to farm into his next item. And then the second nighttime, they went crazy and they just like won the game basically off of that. So we'll see if that's sort of the timing that he wants to go for, if he wants to use the night phase to dominate his lane, or how they want to play that all out. As bottom lane, Vega going to be moving here, and it looks like they want to dodge, sending Crystallized top.
The general is going to be once again left to fend for himself, although this lane will be comparatively easier versus that lane that he had to face in game 1. Not as much burst damage, so he should be able to repel off any Maledict plays, but we'll see how Vega want to react. They have a lot of options with the way they want to lane this. I'd say the biggest priority is just making sure that Sand King does not really bother the DK. But since it's Lil Sand King and not General Sand King, then I guess with it being more roam oriented, I guess you're not even worried about that lane matchup.
Yeah. CP alone bottom here as Vega are going to try and pull the creep wave at the start. This is what they've been doing with Zayak pretty consistently, is you send him down here, he pulls the creep wave over to make sure that you get a double wave pushing into the tower, and then afterwards, Shadow Realm TP.
First step completed.
Slayer looking for a courier snipe. There's a salve on it, and it's going to start making its way out here.
There are more dire heroes on the Radiant side of the map than there are on their own side of the map.
Yeah, it's a little crazy right here. And they're holding this courier for a moment until that Witch Doctor shows. Heads up play.
I think it's until Willow shows, because with Willow Shadow Realm, the right click should go long enough that at least you can get one attack off, but I mean, Willow's done her job. She didn't even need a TP because no one challenged her, so she's just going to show up to this bot lane and Witch Doctor patiently waiting in the shadows.
No. Well, we'll see. Zayak continuing to just right-click General away here, and now the courier going to come on out. And Witch Doctor will be rewarded with a quick kill.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Well played.
No. It does reveal that there's a ward there, but not really the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
Also, Dendi. He's like, he kind of needs that salve a little bit. There's a lot of pressure being put on here by Undershock.
Yeah, Undershock was creating that pressure so that Dendi would feel obligated to send out the salve. And then now he's just like, wait, he doesn't have the courier anymore. I can just keep adding the pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, bottom lane now. They're continuing to try and deal with this heavy creep wave that's coming. It means that Altimos is going to have a very nice time for himself.
Witch Doctor
ends up getting it.
sliced.
Just pick up.
Lil was being very quiet, hadn't shown himself, so Witch Doctor stepped a little bit too far and gets burrow struck.
Yeah. Well, first kill of the game. Now, Dark Willow going to go and try and pick up a couple bounty runes. We'll only get one of them, it looks like, as Invis rune is off there to the side.
This is our moment, Jax.
Maybe she tries to go down bottom and get something done with this. Still a tough kill, though, on General, who's already level 3.
Yeah, and she's so squishy that oftentimes she needs to be worried if General decides to be like, yeah, I'll trade hits with you, I don't really care. Blizzy's not having a great lane, but I'm mostly okay with that. You had mentioned, like, so what is the plan for the Knights, for this Vega Squadron team? I would be okay with Blizzy actually, like, farming for quite a bit of these Knights, as now General gets cursed.
Yeah, Cursed Crown. Lots of damage coming in with the Spirit Siphon. They have a Crypt Storm as well, but only level 1. Yeah, they're not going to go for it anymore. Meanwhile, top lane, they're able to pull back one, and that is going to be Slayer going down again. So a second kill there for NaVi on that Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're playing so aggressive, because really Lil has nothing better to do. Undershock is not an easy gank, especially with Dendi not having a courier, which has now respawned, but still. In bot lane, like, I mean, you already have the Willow and the Death Prophet down here as now General getting kind of low BS purification. So, you know, Lil can't really do anything in the bot lane either, and yet the Witch Doctor keeps kind of overstepping his bounds, expecting the Sand King to be somewhere else, and that just has not been happening.
Yeah. And Sand King, again, going to make that rotation over. Blizzy needs to be careful. It's almost nighttime, but right before that comes around, the Burrow Strike's going to be there. Pull him back again. The casks are bouncing. Blizzy one charges might be enough to keep him alive here, actually. So they do manage to survive through that, but now it might end up being the Witch Doctor's in trouble. And in fact, if Blizzy's not careful, he could end up going down as well. They're diving in for this one. Nowhere left to go. They take down both.
Maybe next time.
Well, it is nighttime now.
Yeah.
But it's too late.
My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, Vega Squadron just keeps throwing bodies into this, and Lil, like, toys with the ideas like, I'll steal Bounty Rune, And he's like, wait, they're out of position again. I can go for another kill.
Yeah.
And that's happened like 3 times now.
So as far as the top lane is concerned, certainly hurting for Blizzy. You can at least say that her
Turn it around
DK
here
is
in
kind of
mid.
just destroying the Pugna, and this rotation in towards mid, it already used it. So that's Pugna getting away. But still, DK is winning that lane pretty handedly, and also DP is winning the lane slightly against General as well.
Yeah, we'll see what Zayats wants to do, because I think he's the one who's coming out the worst in most of these exchanges. I mean, aside from the top lane, because he's only level 2.5. He has not really been able to find the kind of side lane pull that he was getting on the Train Protector to help him recover levels. And he's not really harassing General. Like you said, General is keeping up the pace for being a hard laner, and this is the kind of weird spot that I always see these Shadow Realm mechs going. I mean, like, General hasn't even cared about getting repel.
Yeah. I mean, Zayak is only level 2 right now. It's just kind of the other problem that they really have. And Lil chasing, looking for a burrow here. He's good. He passed with those tranquils. Not going to be able to get into range, though. But yeah, this is a lack of a kill onto General is not the greatest in the world.
And Blizzy has to go back to taking over the lane. If you leave the Witch Doctor there, then Luna can probably just solo Witch Doctor, so it's up to Night Stalker to stay up here, and as a result, this first night will mostly go to waste, but again, like, I'm okay with that, as long as Blizzy continues to farm, and he is going for a Spirit Vessel, which I was going to mention. Spirit Vessel is incredibly valuable this game. Against Pugna, against Omni Knight, being able to reduce the HP regen that both those heroes get is invaluable.
Mid lane, Undershock takes a lot of damage there from Dendy's Life Drain. And as we see the rotation coming in, and the Cursed Crown hits onto 2. They throw out 1. Burrow Strike from the low ground doesn't come out, as Willow was just a little too far away. They do have a TP available on Willow, so it does feel like that's not going to happen in time. And 5-0 start. NaVi coming out the gate swinging.
Man, I'm disappointed. I was hoping Dendy would, for a maximum efficiency play, the Purification should have been put onto Dendy, so he heals him and kills the Willow.
Oh.
That's the kind of satisfaction I'm looking for. Telekinesis top lane, Undershock. Dragon form times out, so they're not going to be able to catch this Luna, I don't think.
Oh, they're flying. They're looking. Want to get her. There it is. Body blocks from Blizzy. And that'll be enough to get the kill. So, Vega Squadron get on the board, and it's a nice kill for them, too, taking down Crystallize.
That should help.
Yeah, and Zayats gets the lane only temporarily, though, as now Bramble Maze is put.
Oh my god, and Exorcism comes out as well. Dendy in a ton of trouble. He is going to be able to stay alive for a moment, but only a moment, as they do take him down, and now going to be using this Exorcism to deal some damage to that tier 1 tower.
I like how the idea is that Dragon form is used and it times out, and you're like, well, I guess they can't push anymore. And then Palatinos is like, it's all good. I'll use my ult also. We're going to do damage to this mid tower, but not very much. It was mainly just to get the kill on the Pugna, and they did that successfully. But
Undershock.
guess what? Now Dragon form's up again.
General's going to get stunned there. They're bringing in the Sand King, though. The rest of Vega moving into position. Repel is out already. 4 heroes here, but the 2 from NaVi, as well as the other rotations, might be enough to force them back. That throws down the Bramble Maze. And another Dragon form, not really used all that effectively.
Well, he's going to bot lane, so maybe he'll be able to push that. Crystallize is not farmed enough to go up against this DK quite yet, and since everyone on NaVi just TP'd top to help defend that tower, Crystallize is just going to have to retreat.
And so that is, again, net worth lead for the Dragonite and the DP. If you're playing this game right now as Vega Squadron, like, what's the big goal? Because you're moving around the map, they're finding some little chip damage here and there, but how do they win this game? What's like the key to their victory?
The key for Navi's successes have always been Crystallize. Consistently, as now Slayer in the top lane, he's going to go down to this support rotation. Right.
I think so.
Bonk. Crystallize has time and time again proven to be able to farm under ridiculous circumstances, and so the idea that Vega Squadron have is keep eyes on the Ancients to make sure that Crystallize doesn't get any easy stacks, and make sure you send your most farmed hero to whatever lane he's farming in. As now top lane, first crown comes out, Zayats, Realms, and TPs.
Okay, so make sure that you're shutting down that new Luna's farm whenever possible.
Correct. Which, right now, I guess they're waiting for nighttime, but it's not like Crystallize is getting very much done. He's 1v1ing against the Night Stalker and not even feeling confident about it.
Denied.
You get the deny there. Always nice. But a couple heroes back by the base. It's going to be a smoke play from Dark Willow, Undershock, and the Witch Doctor is mid lane, putting a lot of pressure on. They're trying to force a rotation here. They're seeing if they can get anybody in. They just blow them the hell up. But it is going to be Witch Doctor making that rotation in. So I think that they were hoping to force a rotation and then go bottom. Unfortunately, that doesn't work out, and now instead they're going to have to go mid and go for a stun here from Slayer. On to Lil. The cask is going to bounce. Unfortunately, it does not go over for Dendi. They will be able to find one, but that looks like it's about the extent of it. And Vega Squadron, it's not looking amazing for him.
We'll see where this Death Prophet wants to go. She wants to go top? Okay, fine. I think that they need to start taking some towers, because part of the goal of shutting down Luna involves reducing the amount of area that she can farm. Like right now, she's farming this area, and if there was no tier 1 tower here, she would not be here. And instead, Darkness is popped, but it's too late. Lil is already in the bottom.
God, the epicenter flips turnaround and doesn't even need the...
Like, everyone on Vega Squadron's on their own mission. The Death Prophet in the mid lane, like, she was originally setting up for the smoke gate rotation, but she went in, like, way earlier, and she got killed. This time, Darkness was popped, but Undershock wasn't even ready. He was TPing to that tower, and already the Night Stalker was going in deep. And so even if Lil wasn't there, even if Eclipse was on cooldown, the Night Stalker doesn't really accomplish much, and so... a bunch of time being wasted, and Crystallize is laughing his way to the bank.
Bedlam mid. Dendi's going to take a lot of magical damage there, and he is going to fall. Zayak now needing to get away as the Terrorize is going to come out. They force one fear back on the Rubik. And looks like with that kill, they might be able to do something else here to this tower, as they do have an exorcism available. Lil, only a level 4 Sand King.
Palantimos does not want to blow Exorcism for this. I mean, they don't have a creep wave, but that means that Pugna's going to be up, and that means that once again you cannot take this mid tier 1.
Bottom lane, they're doing a lot of damage on him, Mr. Crystallize. He's dead. Easy rotation.
Well, at least he bought out. Nighttime gank from the Night Stalker. I mean, daytime gank from the Night Stalker. That's impressive, but Slayer... Wait, they didn't even have Death Ward. How the hell did they do that?
He was just low, and they maledict and then stunned.
Nice. Good for them.
Dire's middle tower.
Exorcism bot lane.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's the rest of Navi grouped together towards mid, and it looks like their call is going to be, all right, we're going to go top, as the tower has already dropped bottom. Vega Squadron can get together to try and defend against this, but they're looking forward for this. 4 staff forward onto Lil as they've caught themselves Dark Willow's Shadow Realm away, and the TP out.
Wow. Well, at least they'll be able to take this tower. Exorcism was unfortunately used for that tier 1, but Dragon Form is still available, and Undershock makes the right move. He immediately heads over to mid, and they're okay trading 1 for 1. And yeah, Navi's not going to be able to take this fast enough to come back and defend, I don't think.
You're getting closer to a couple of these group up items as well. On the Night Stalker right now has the urn already, but also drums are going to be in the works.
Defend.
Spooky Lil. Now heading off to the side. Oh, the cast! It's going to bounce between the both of them.
Wow.
They got them both caught. This is going to be 2 kills. Taken down with ease.
Radiant's middle tower is under
The
attack.
worst case scenario right there. Well, for Navi at least. Amazing if you're Vega Squadron and they take that tower. Don't continue to proceed, but they don't have Exorcism.
And just a really good decision right there as well. They'll wrap the Witch Doctor around from behind. Crystallize right now. It's going to run into some trouble. As he heads through this direction, Zayak going to look for the Bramble Maze in a second, it looks like, and able to catch now on the Crystallize. They have Bedlam. It's going to start to deal a lot of damage to him. Just a little ways away from it. Almost dead now in the Terrorize as well, the Fear, but he managed to just barely get that Shrine. Although now he's going to have to head back home, I think. Maybe. Purification is there.
But Navi, I mean, Vega Squadron aren't done. They still have this Night Stalker. They've still got nighttime for another 2 minutes. And they've got this ward that the Witch Doctor placed. We'll see if they want to contest this. They're not even trying to steal any experience. I guess Night Stalker is barely in experience range. Well, Willow got it.
I'll take that.
So The pressure instead is going to be up towards top, where Vega Squadron, they don't want to get into a fight over there by where people can TP in between them and the shrine, and they're going to pressure the tier 1 top.
They've got good vision on it with this ward placed
Radiant's
between
top
the lane.
tower is under attack.
Ideally, they don't spend exorcism for this, but they do. So never mind.
Maybe they can
Where's
pressure a
the
second.
DK? Oh, DK is off trying to get some kills. He's got a Shadow Blade.
Radiant structures are
LeBron
fortified.
Dota with an Invis rune. DK might be walking into the wrong neighborhood. He's
Don't
going
know
to
what his plan is.
initiate onto Dendy. Lots of damage there. The rest of the heroes coming in as well. Dendy
Oh,
in
what a
trouble, but
silence.
now they're able to steal this away. It's a lot. There's going to be the turnaround, though. And Dendy able to make that kill happen. Palatimos wanting to fight this, but with the Guardian Angel, it might be all too much, and they end up taking down one. Maybe they can be able to take down another here. Bramble Maze down. No. So with Exorcism wearing off, Vega lose 2.
That was an optimistic initiation from the DK. It was really well played by the Night Stalker. Immediately after that stun came out, Lil was crippling feared, couldn't get the Burrow Strike to interrupt DK's combination, but problem is Omni Knight was still there, so you can only silence one hero, unless your Death Prophet is there, but Death Prophet was busy exorcisming top lane, which didn't even manage to finish off that tier 1. So, was not a unified effort, and Vega Squadron ended up getting punished for it. But Palatimos does not die, and at least they ended up getting one of the kills on NaVi.
They're kind of trying to bait this out down bottom to see if they could get NaVi to move forward any further, but doesn't end up happening. The Witch Doctor is just standing off to the side. Now he ends up revealing himself in lane. 4 points up in Maledict means it could be a quick kill. If General's not careful, he does need to be aware of this.
I think you need the Night Stalker to silence, and Blizz is off in the mid lane, so if Night Stalker's not there, then I don't think General's very concerned, especially with the Force stuff. Although you do have a ground silence.
They have Terrorize. Terrorize. Oh,
Oh.
almost there.
Yeah. General still doesn't care.
General's crazy. I don't know what this guy's thinking.
I mean, he's got his Rubik behind him, but like, I don't know if that's quite enough, but they're sticking around. It's just, this is up in 15 seconds.
This is pretty nuts. Curse Crown's gonna come out. Cast Repel. Now they're waiting. Rubik getting ran down
General
here.
does not have a TP.
What damage! I think he's just dead.
I think he has to use Guardian Angel. Oh, it's on cooldown.
That. All right, no, they're gonna rotate in with
Dire's
Lil, and that
middle
makes it a
tower is
little
under
bit less palatable going forward for that. But
Yeah,
Undershock shows up. There's gonna
Undershock.
be the stun. General is there. They spot him all out. They're gonna be able to find him. The buyback from the Rubik. And I don't know if this ends up looking okay for them. Undershock ends up taking down Lil with the DOT. So they buy back on the Rubik. They don't find the fight. They still end up losing the Sand King. It feels so chaotic from Navi right now.
I mean, how much is the Rubik 1300 net worth buyback anyway, right?
I guess
That's
that's true.
7.11, baby.
Yeah. That's
No,
fair.
but it's not good. I will agree with you. I don't think there's any situation in which you buy back, don't get anything, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know why General was sticking around like for so long down there, especially without a TP scroll. Like if you have a TP, then whatever. You can repel, you can TP out. If your Rubik dies, that's just, you know, you want to make a farm omelet, you got to crack a few Rubiks, I guess. But there was nothing to gain from being that far up and having no way of getting
Radiant's
out. And
bottom tower is under
ideally, maybe
attack.
their bait. I don't know if Lil's Blink Tagger was revealed before that happened. Oh man, is he gonna get? Oh, what a bait near this bot rune.
I didn't
see
spot
that?
that one out. No, I didn't.
Oh man. So basically, Undershock was sitting there with a Shadow Blade right next to a double damage rune, and Lil just moseys on over. He's like, "Oh sweet, double damage rune," and then bonked by the DK. Double damage rune promptly taken, stunned out, killed.
That one hurts. That's pretty rough. Oh, going high ground though. Altimos
Dire's
gonna
top
get
tower
pushed
is under
forward
attack.
actually. Rubik
Yeah.
steals the Spirit Siphon, and now on the other side, Dark Willow coming in. Needs to be careful about casting too many of these spells. She's starting to be brought down very low. And LeBron Dota, in spite of the fact that he dies, still manages to get that kill under Dark Willow. Now the rest of these heroes in the area, they blow up the DP. Slayer already used his cast, needs to back the heck out of here, but the crystallized Luna is chasing him down. And Slayer, nowhere left to go, is dead.
Willow was looking for Bedlam kills when she really should have just been looking to terrorize anyone who could have helped out that Rubik. And then Shadow Realm right click wasn't even used to finish off the Rubik, so Death Prophet had to go that much further to get that last right click off and end up. I mean, she may have died anyway, as we saw Lil with this Blink Dagger. He's got a lot of range of initiation, but a lot of things going Navi's way, and mainly just because Vega. Oh, what the hell is okay? That's
Dead Dark Willow.
I think that's not quite sure how to explain that one.
Oh, it's a rough one, that's for sure.
It is a rough one, my friend.
Undershock, stun. Not a bad way to make it work. The epicenter coming in as well, but it's only onto one. BKB has been there. Blizzy turns it back around. Lilith's going to die because of it. It looks like the rest will be able to get out from NaVi. 3,000 gold lead right now for those guys.
And if my graph math is correct, that was not the case 5 minutes ago, in which case they were not that down, but they were still down, and this is a huge lead. 10-second BKB spent by the DK as well. You already got the tier 3 tower in the top lane down to a quarter HP. A lot of things happened that probably should not have happened.
It still does feel like they need to play around this Undershock Shadow Blade, which unfortunately is going to be revealed right here.
Yeah, see, the other problem is, because this net worth was in the way of structures, these supports got a lot of gold, which means that they can now afford a lot more detection. And so LeBron has a sentry on him. I'm sure that you'll probably see a gem come out fairly early on General this game, maybe after he gets this Lotus Orb to purge off all these ground-targeted silences and targeted silences.
And big moment right here as Undershock's going to walk out of the pit. They find him. There's going to be the fear as well. He's stuck for a very long time. They're trying to bring him down. The decrep ends up actually costing him his life as they had too much magical damage and bursted the Omni.
Stolen Bramble.
Okay. Not bad. And Dendi ends up taking down Zayak with not sure exactly what. Just a little ulti there. Not even used, just the Nether Blast.
Yeah, Nether Blasted. Yeah. He was caught in the Bramble Maze that was stolen. Oh, they don't have Nether Ward, unfortunately. If they did, then they would go for it, I think.
A steal Maledict, but it's going to end up still coming at the cost of, I think, of his life, as LeBron is going to get ran down
could
here.
Probably kill him?
Thinking about it. All right.
Yeah, nice.
That's a fate and a half. Holy Toledo. In the meantime, though, the Manta Illusions of Luna able to take down a tier 3 tower. So while all that action is going on, they don't defend their base.
I'm telling you, Crystallize. It's all about Crystallize. You gotta know where he is at all times, because this man, no matter how grim things are looking, you just need to keep your eye and you'll see a minimap dot and you'll be like, why is that dot all the way on the enemy side of the base? But he will find ways to breach your high ground when you least expect it. There was an extended fight near the Roche pit. Whole time Luna wasn't there, but that's okay for NaVi, because that is the way that they win games.
And Dendi now going back for a Dagon, just realizing we gotta blow these people up. A lot of magical damage and doubling down upon it, with Crystallize being that one to deal all the right click. Almost has his BKB completed now as well. It's gonna be brought out to him.
Yeah, he can get away with this because Luna is opted to build a BKB, and so pretty much all the repels will go straight onto Dendi. Otherwise, Dendi desperately would need a BKB, but if Crystallize has his own spell immunity, then, like I said, repel can be used exclusively on Pugna.
A Shadow Blade, but remembering that there was a Sentry Ward down there, Aftershock realizes he might just be walking into his own death, and so he's just going to go back, farm out this camp instead, and they're going to call it good. But it is kind of a little bit of an interesting moment still. Like, you can feel that NaVi is so much stronger. 6,000 net worth lead for them right now with all these bigger items coming out. But nonetheless, it's the Aegis on Vega Squadron.
If they can do anything with it. On a DK, it's not necessarily the best hero, especially a DK with a BKB. And so, like, you don't want to have to use Dragon Form and your BKB, like, on the same life, but the problem is if you're initiating, because you're the Shadow Blade hero, then you need to use one or the other. So it's an awkward situation for a DK to be in, and I don't really know how much Vega Squadron are interested in taking advantage of the Aegis. I think it may just be a denial Aegis, if anything else.
Well, yeah, and that's a nice part of it as well, is like you have this incredibly strong timing from NaVi with like the BKB Manta on Luna, where if they had gotten that Aegis, they could potentially push, and now you buy yourself some time for Vega.
Very true.
BKB
And
gonna
that
be there
gives
for DP in a little bit.
I'll take that.
DK working his way to a heart as well, and so I wonder if anyone on, let's see, I always forget, what is the item hotkey?
They
where you pull up all the
rechanged it.
items?
I think you have to rebind it.
That's
to
what it
something
was.
else.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm this incompetent. I swear I've been able to pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever the case, I'm not going to figure it. Oh, wait, I can do it from the scoreboard. Okay, so I would like to see a Spirit Vessel on the side of NaVi as well. Blizzy hasn't completed his on the Night Stalker fight yet, so...
Dendi, silenced, repelled. Everything dropped for it, though. They are
But the
going
turnaround-
to try and make this work. It's a little bit scary. Nice blink away there as well. The silence and the fear onto Omni Knight ends up stunning himself. 1,000,010 procs, and actually now the epicenter, he goes right into the root. Lil not able to get the stun off because of that. They are going to lose Blizzy, but now Crystallized, large in a charge, running forward, trying to take them all down. You saw the Yule Scepter on DP, hasn't popped her ulti, and it looks like with that, it's going to be the Aegis down. Looking for more, not able to find it.
Do they have detection?
They have a Sentry Ward down,
Yes, they do.
and that's a Burrow Strike kill. So again, a little bit of an awkward initiation. They get the GA off, which saves that Pugna, but they end up losing more and didn't have Exorcism going.
Yeah, they bought a lot of time, and Vega Squadron were like, well, they're just buying time because they think that this Pugna can get kills. But
Dire's
in
top
reality,
tower
they were
is
buying
under
time because
attack.
Lil was coming into the fight, Crystallized was coming into the fight, and LeBron were all coming into the fight. And Omni Knight gives up his life for the cause, but it is a worthy cause, as now this Tier 3 will be claimed second Tier 3, and the Rax to surely follow.
And they can go immediately bottom if they want to, or they can just back out, depending upon how they want to play this. Instead,
Or they
they're going to
can
go
kill
into
Lil.
the base. Zayak almost ends up going down there, but is going to live. Scary for her to walk forward and try and use any type of control because of that ward, which would have killed her. They decrep it, and now back out as a team.
Yeah, I should have clicked on the fight recap because I'm sure that Nether Ward did so much damage. Everyone on Vega Squadron were like, don't worry about... Oh,
Bedlam. It forced the BKB out from Luna, and now Zayak in trouble. Gonna try and go for the Terrorize, but Crystallize just tears them apart. It forces
Okay,
the BKB.
yeah, 9-second BKB. LeBron is going to actually get out just fine. Undershock looking desperately for something, but sees everyone shining up, realizes he cannot. And actually reveals himself on the high ground. That is pretty confident, but I guess they didn't expect NaVi to have any ward vision there, and they did not.
Shadowblade back off cooldown in 2 seconds. They wanted to go into Crystallize, but it's a bit too late, and now walking forward, they're not going to be able to find the Luna in an easy position to gank. So Dragon Form pop for that, and it doesn't get Vega anything.
And as suspected, the early gem was completed. The Rubik ended up buying it, but it is on general, and so whatever hint of initiation you had with that Dragon Knight is more going to be a liability at this point, because one Rax is taken, NaVi is only interested in the bottom half of the map now, and you cannot be able to reliably wrap around.
And look at this move from NaVi right now. They do get caught
They're not
and
even
clipped
scared.
by a scan. Now,
Darkness is popped, and they're like, that's cool.
wait, now
We'll
Vega
keep
know about this,
marching
though.
forward.
They're walking through. The smoke ends up breaking now. Under shock. He only has a little bit of Dragon Form left, though. They're not going to be able to do enough damage here. I don't believe BKB out. There's going to be the Eclipse, and the Dragon Form still going. It might actually be enough. It ends up wearing off, though, and now Crystallize is going to turn and try and take him down. They immediately break that Death Ward. They got him to death. And now the Epi onto one. Doesn't matter. GG is called. NaVi dominant in game number 2.
Set your clocks.
I guess Vega Squadron
Dire's
thought it was
bottom
time for a
barracks
YOLO
are
play.
radiant
I guess it's legitimate. I mean, they were already like 14k in the hole or whatever. The game could have probably gone longer, but they were like, whatever. If we win this fight, then we're definitely in the game. If we lose the fight, then I'm okay GGing out, and that's what they go for. So NaVi coming back in a very confident fashion. The game 1 and game 2 actually end up ending at pretty much the same time. I think game 1 was also like 28 minutes, so it's turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. Well, that's going to do it for game number 2. One more series today. One of our series has already gone the distance, and it was the one with NaVi. We'll see if it's going to be a similar result, or a Vega squad are going to be able to come away with the win in this one. Again, winner moves on to the playoffs. Loser just has to face out in the lower bracket. But we'll be back in a few for game number 3. If you want, you can give us a follow at Lyrical Dota, at Tsunami643 on Twitter, and then all the other accompanying social media areas as well. Be back in a bit. See you guys then.